Okay, you thought those questions were hard. Now, these are really going to be hard. And I'm going to do a little lightning rod, so you just give me your first impressions, okay?
Let's go.
Do you know that Lindsay Lohan is in jail?
I actually know that, yes.
You knew that?
I did.
Okay. Does Mel Gibson need anger management?
Let me answer the Afghanistan question. No, look, I haven't seen a Mel Gibson movie in a while, so.
Yeah, the tapes are really better than any movie he ever made.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Should Snooki run as mayor of Wazilla?
I gotta admit, I don't know who Snooki is.
You don't?
Mr. President.
Okay, only one more because these are obviously, you don't know any pop culture, which is good news. We don't want you.
I knew Lindsay was in jail?
You knew that. Yeah, how did you know that?
I don't know.
Well, wait a minute,
It just sort of
Mr.
goes in the
President.
ether
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, do you tweet?
I don't tweet.
You don't tweet?
I don't tweet on a regular basis. No, I think there is a official president's tweet, but some 20-year-old is doing a lot of the tweeting. I'm just messing up here.
They took your email away when you came in, but do you do it on the side?
You know, I have a BlackBerry, but only 10 people have it, and I've got to admit, it's no fun because they think that it's probably going to be subject to the Presidential Records Act, so nobody wants to send me the real juicy stuff. It's all very official, and, you know, Mr. President, you have a meeting coming up, and we'd like to brief you.
And that's it?
Yeah, that's all
Have you thought about an iPhone at all, making the switch?
I haven't made the switch yet. I got a pod, though.
Now, can I ask you,
I've got a great iPod.
What's the first couple of songs on your iPod?
You name it. You name a song, I've got it. Whether it's
Did not blow your mind this time.
I've got Jay-Z on there. I've got Frank Sinatra on there. I've got
Justin Bieber.
I've got Maria Callas on there. I do not have Justin Bieber on there. I have met Justin Bieber. He came to sing at the White House. He's a very nice young man.
Mr. President, are you going to Chelsea Clinton's wedding?
I am not going, and I have to say it would be tough enough having one president at a wedding. You don't want two presidents at a wedding. The Secret Service and everybody's getting magged as they're going in, and all the gifts are getting unwrapped and ripped up. And,
were you invited to Chelsea Clinton's wedding?
You know, I was not invited because I think that Hillary and Bill properly want to keep this as a thing for Chelsea and her soon-to-be husband. And I am going to have the I'm letting you guys know now, you all probably will not be invited to Malia's wedding or Sasha's wedding. Because one of the things that Michelle and I are so adamant about is making sure that Malia and Sasha have as normal a life as possible. And I know Bill and Hillary, who are terrific parents, had that same attitude when it came to Chelsea.
Have boys entered the picture yet for your girls?
Thankfully, no.
Mr. President, if you want to send the girls with great babysitters, we're the most normal women you ever want to meet.
Babysitting, grandma, not babysitting.
But we are
Yeah, really.
Actually, they're now old enough where they are going to be doing the babysitting.
They can come over
They can come over and help out.
Yeah, we'll have lunch. President Barack Obama when we come back.
Barack Obama, President Obama, you've been in office 18 months. Clearly you have not begun to walk on water, though people expected you to right after the election. You were told you were too slow on responding to BP. You were too fast on Ms. Sherrod. You haven't explained yourself. No one understands. Sir, can you win as president?
Are you on Zoloft? Is what we
Look, when I look back over these last 20 months, they have been as challenging but as satisfying as any in my life. And I'm going to be able to say at the end of just the first half of my first term that every American in this country is soon going to be able to get health insurance even if they've got a pre-existing condition. I'm going to be able to say that tobacco companies can't market their products to kids. I'm going to be able to say that we've got a credit card law in place that makes sure that you don't have any hidden fees and that you know exactly what's going on when it comes to credit card companies. We've got the toughest financial regulatory reform law since the Great Depression, and we're going to be able to enforce these laws so there are no more taxpayer bailouts. We've saved an economy from a Great Depression, and we have created, I think, a whole range of reforms on education that are going to pay off over the next 10 years so that more kids are going to college, more kids are studying math, more kids are studying science. So,
Will they have jobs when they're out of there?
Well, they're going to create these jobs. That's the thing is that when our kids are doing well in school, when we've got the best trained workforce, when they are innovating and creating jobs through small businesses, that's when America succeeds. And so I feel very optimistic, and I do think that the reason I seem calm all the time, even if sometimes we're going through some turbulence, is I try to take the long view. I try to say, if I wake up today and I know I'm doing a good job, somewhere down the road, that's going to pay off. And people are going to be able to look back and say, you know what, he made that decision based on what's best for the country as opposed to short-term politics. And I think that's the best way to govern.
The fact that your rating is so low, does that bother you? Or can you say it's going to be better?
Well, you know, Washington is obsessed with polls. So I can look historically and I can say my polls at this point are higher than they were, than Ronald Reagan's polls were, or higher than Bill Clinton's polls were, or higher than Jimmy Carter's were. But the truth of the matter is that doesn't make too much difference because these things change very quickly. And what I constantly am focused on is, am I doing what's right for the country? Am I making the best possible decisions that I can be making? And if I do that, then I have confidence that I'll be rewarded because I think that good policy is good politics.
What would you like your legacy to be?
I'd like the American people to be able to look back and say, this was a time when we tackled a bunch of problems that we'd been putting off for too long. Healthcare, we'd been putting off too long and finally got solved. Education, we're finally making the schools better for our kids. We need an energy policy so that we're not dependent on foreign oil.
Right.
And we're dealing with the challenges to our environment. As I said before, I'm so optimistic about America because I'm optimistic about the American people. Every time I travel, every time I get out of Washington and I sit down and I talk to folks, they are generous, they are strong, they are resilient, they are full of imagination, they are full of drive, they are full of pluck, and there's no reason why America will continue, it shouldn't continue to be the greatest country on earth for decades and centuries to come. But we just have to remind ourselves of what makes us great, and hopefully I'll be able to help lead the country through this difficult time so that we continue on this extraordinary journey that we've been on.
Mr. President, all five of us, we're delighted that you were here and honored to have you. Thank you.
I had a wonderful time. Thank you.